Welcome everyone. Thanks for joining me. I'm in Indianapolis today. I'll be hanging out here at the Children's Museum here in Indy. And I know what you're saying. Why in the world? You're almost 40. Why are you going to a children's museum? Ain't that a little weird? Well, you may think so, but not according to the Indianapolis Children's Museum here. They don't care. If you go on their website or Facebook page, they advertise anybody of any age is more than welcome to come here. And I haven't been here since I was in like 5th grade, so it's long overdue to come back to this place. Dorothy is around here somewhere. She ran off on me. I don't know where she went. She's probably inside hiding or hiding off camera somewhere. Anyways, we'll catch up to her later. But check this out. We got like, this is so great, even the dinosaurs are wanting to get in. Ain't that cool? His little buddy jumping in up there behind him. So let's go inside and check this place out. When you first walk in here, check this out. You got the dinosaur exhibit. You got my favorite dinosaur, T-Rex. You have Triceratops down here. It's absolutely beautiful in here. I love this. Well, see, the only downside to some of these is that some of these are just casts. Like that T-Rex up there, he's just a cast of the actual fossils. But over here, this guy, he's an actual fossil. That is a huge turtle. Look at the size of this super croc. I mean, he could easily take you one whole bite. You know what the difference between an alligator and a crocodile is? One will see you later, and the other will see you after a while.
Hey, crocodile.
They really got a lot of great fossils here. Look at that fish. It's like something you kind of see like today, that what they call like the angler fish. They only appear like in the really deep depths of the sea. Dorothy, what's your favorite dinosaur?
Jurassic Park.
Not Jurassic Park, that's a movie. What's your favorite dinosaur? You just told me what your favorite dinosaur was.
Pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl, okay. Stepping away out of the dinosaur exhibit. Oh, we got trolley coming. What is this, Mr. Rogers? Check out this steam engine. Real locomotive.
Mama, look at us. Look at us.
Brought in here in 1975 when they were building this. So when they built this, they brought the steam engine. They carefully eased it in here. And then they just built the museum kind of around it. It's pretty awesome, ain't it? Something else interesting about this steam locomotive is that it didn't pull train cars like a lot of the steam locomotives you see do. It actually pushed them. It didn't pull. It would actually push them up the hill. And this was used up in Madison, Indiana. Check out these toy trains. I mean, these are really nice. They got a nice collection. It even stretches all the way down that way too. And then directly behind you, you got this. And no, it's not a caboose. It is a tool car. And your mechanics and stuff like that would sit in here and carry their large tools underneath there. And it's right down the track. So you come inside the tool car, and there's more toy trains in here. No shortage of toy trains in here, that's for sure. It really gives you the feeling that you're actually moving down the road or down the track. That is so cool. Even though we ain't going nowhere. Egyptians were strange about their burials. After you died, they would pull out your organs and store them in jars. And here you kind of read what went into what. Directly, they would take that hook and pull out your brain through your nose. Disgusting. I wonder if anybody that gets cremated would ever want to be cremated and have their remains put in a jar like that. I'm sure there are people out there that do that. You know why they have lady astronauts?
Reese's.
It's so that way they can, the men have clean folded clothes. Here's where they would sleep. They would have something like this, and you would
Roasted peanuts.
curl up inside of this thing.
Look, it's the roasted peanuts.
Yeah.
It's the dry roasted peanuts.
I've seen a lot of people carry tools like that. There's no rinse shampoo. I've never seen that before. It's kind of like what you would, how you'd eat up in space. A lot of these, you open up this little tab at the top, and you put water in it, and next thing you know, you got your food. Same way down here too. You open it up and put water into it. This is awesome. How high up that goes. This was made, this is all glass. This is all blown glass. So over 3,000 glass pieces were brought in from Seattle. And they would put these on a pole or armature, and they would take and they'd climb up these ladders, and they would individually slide all these pieces of glass onto it. And it stretches over 43 feet, weighs over 18,000 pounds. Imagine the noise that would make if that all came crashing down. That would be loud. Of course, one of the highlights of this museum is the famous water clock. People come here and will sit here. It doesn't get as crowded as what it used to. When I was here, like 5th grade, like everybody in this museum like stopped to watch this thing fill. But you can see it filling up over here. And you got it right here. So this is your clock, and it's right on time too. It is right now 1:32. So you see it's almost 1:33 now. But your hour is right here, your minutes are over here. And whenever the hour changes, the water will fill up, come down over here and be 2 o'clock. This was made by a French scientist back in 1988. We're still sitting here waiting for the clock to change to the next hour. But a couple little interesting secrets about this water clock is, you know, of course water isn't blue. It's water, but there's also blue dye mixed in there, and just a little drop mixes for 20 gallons, or I'm sorry, 70 gallons. Of course, they had the dye it blue because if you left it clear, you wouldn't be able to see what the world time was. And there's also a sensor at about the 30-minute mark there that lets it know if the water is right on, if there's enough water in there or not, and it can pump in the water. You can see a pipe running down. There's a whole maze of pipes just right below our feet that helps keep this clock running. Stores more water and stuff. And there's also methyl alcohol mixed in here too, because if you just have pure water, what would happen is it would look like a fish tank. You know, it would get that green algae and it would just look nasty in there. So with that alcohol, it kills that and keeps it looking clean and clear. Okay, there she goes. She's changing. And this is all draining out. Seems to be a little off. It says it's 2 o'clock on here, but it is only 1:58. Seems to be a little. Clock seems to be just a hair bit fast. It was right on time a few minutes ago up to the top of the hour. It seemed like it kind of jumped the gun a little bit. But you kind of get the idea how it runs. So has anybody ever heard the story of Ryan White? He was diagnosed with AIDS at a very young age. And just back in the 80s. And not a whole lot of people knew about AIDS at the time. And his life was pretty much torture with it. He sadly, of course, passed away many years ago. But back in the 80s, not many people knew about it. They weren't aware of it like they are today. And because of this, he was kicked out of school. They wouldn't allow him back. Stuff like that, which his parents tried to fight it unsuccessfully. I do believe he did relocate to a different school. They let him come in. But if I'm correct, I think this is kind of like a setup of like his room. Definitely an 80s room, that's for sure. I do believe these are all his toys that he owned. Elton John gave him that. Gave him that bear. Same that hat. There's a signed picture from Elton John there. And he gave him that electronic keyboard too. Hasbro toy company, they sent him 3 boxes of those G.I. Joes. You can read about a movie he did in 1988, or a TV movie called The Ryan White Story. And he said if enough people saw it, maybe other kids with age, kids I'd never know, would be treated better. Gosh, I remember this stuff back in the 80s. The Teddy Ruxpin. You put a Kikimon, it was like a cassette or something like that. I can't remember exactly how he worked. It was like a cassette or something you put in the back of him, and he would, his mouth would move and tell you the story of whatever you got in there. I had no radio like that. And a lot of them you could take off like the speakers off to the side, and you can like drape them off somewhere else. I actually had quite a bit of wiring to them. You can actually string the speakers quite a long ways. You kick on your radio while you're working in the house or in your garage or whatever, or kick on your favorite cassette tape, like some of these, like Janet Jackson. You know, I see this airplane-looking thing. It makes me think of that John Denver song, "Leaving on a Jet Plane." You've got Michelangelo standing outside the American pop culture section. Let's go in here and take a look at this. This ought to be fun. It's crazy to see an iPod in a museum. I had an iPod Nano. I had several songs on it. I don't know what I ever did with that thing. It hurts to see a CD player in a museum. Gosh, I don't know how many times I've walked down the road, have that. what's crazy is a lot of kids these days don't know what an 8-track player is, don't know what a record player is. I'm sure there's some that never seen a CD. Never mess with vinyls. And they probably don't mess with a cassette tape. Just kick on the radio to record, take a blank tape, record on the radio, get a mix of songs, and then pause it during the commercials. That way you have like a very long playlist of songs. You get tired of it, you record over it. There's the Beatles' gold record and autographs. Well, I can kind of read Paul McCartney, I can read George Harrison's, but I can't really tell what the other ones say. I don't know whose those are, but that's not Ringo Starr and John Lennon's autographs. I don't know whose they are, but that's definitely not them two. But check it out, it's Alf. I love Alf. NSYNC board game. Beatles. Bubbleheads and magazine. That'd be worth a pretty penny to have those. Boys to Men, I remember them. More NSYNC stuff. New Kids on the Block with signed by them. My sister was like huge fans of them growing up. New Kids on the Block, Backstreet Boys Lunchbox. Steve Urkel. Dress One by Taylor Swift. This is so cool. A golden ticket from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Used in the movie. Yes, we see her there, Dorothy. Let's see. Present this ticket at the factory gates at 10 o'clock in the morning of the first day of October, and do not be late. You may bring with you one member of your own family, and only one, but no one else. In your wildest dreams, you cannot imagine the marvelous surprises that await you. It's kind of faded. It's kind of hard to read that. I love that movie. Yeah. And you got Animaniacs.
That's Lady Gaga's.
Yes, I'm not talking about Lady Gaga. I'm talking about Animaniacs right now. And you got a guitar signed by Garth Brooks. Oh, look, you got the Klingon cruisers from Star Trek. And you got the Star Trek captains.
The nerds.
Benji! And the Bee Gees. Hey, anybody remember Benji? I think I watched it a long time ago when I was a kid. I've seen it like once. Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, 1980. Now here's something I never knew they had, was a Transformers radio or audio player. I never knew that. It's from 2007. How did I not see that before? Speaking of radio, you got Smurf radio, 1983. A Superman radio. The music on Superman radio must be really super. That is a lot of Batman stuff. I love the costume. I'd wear that on Halloween. For sure. And you got the bat phone there. Jacket. Inspired by Michael Jackson's music video Beat It. I remember a lot of people wearing that kind of a jacket back in the late 80s, early 90s. That's going to do it for me here at the Indianapolis Children's Museum, or Children's Museum of Indianapolis, however you want to say it. And I have lost Dorothy again. I just witnessed a wreck out here behind me. Thankfully everybody's okay, but my goodness, first time I've ever been filming and an accident happened right out here. That was crazy. But check out these dinosaurs behind me. It's like a regular Jurassic Park out here. They're all kind of just coming out from behind me over here, busting out through the walls. It's pretty awesome out here. Yeah. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.